Okay, I'm going to be going over the next slideshow that we're going to be doing. After this set of slides, we are going to be taking a test. So what this slideshow is dietary supplements. So these are oftentimes things that people will take to try to supplement what they're not already having. Such a thing would be multivitamins because they don't think they're getting enough of them. Or it could be something as simple as like protein powder because they don't think they're getting enough of that. What dietary supplements objectives you're going to go over. You're going to learn what are dietary supplements, are dietary supplements proven, are dietary supplements safe, what does each dietary supplement do, what are steroids, what do steroids do, what are the side effects of steroids for males and females, and are there penalties in athletics? Most dietary supplements are not proven to work. So they're not proven over in medical things that they're actually proven to work. What is in the bottle is not necessarily what it is because they are not regulated by the Food and Drug Administration. So as long as what's on the bottle isn't going to get you sick, it can be there. So what they might be is you might be thinking you're going to buy a bunch of creatine when in fact it's only a half creatine and the other half could be rice flour because it's something that's not going to get you sick. You could also have allergic reactions to dietary supplements. That's why you need to consult your doctor before you take some of these things. Now we're going to go over a lot of different dietary supplements. Some there's more known about, some there's less. But you never know if you're going to have some type of allergic reaction, so you don't necessarily want to be taking them. This would be a video you could watch on dietary supplements when you actually look through the videos, or the slideshow, I should say. Also another video to watch on multivitamins. And then the first one is melatonin. What melatonin does is it helps promote sleep. Now this is something that you would think, well, if I have more of it, it's going to work better. When not in actuality, this is something I've taken myself. If I've had trouble sleeping, it's not addictive. So it's something you wouldn't get addicted to. And it does help with sleep. So this is something that I've tried before, and it has worked for me. Next one is protein powder. Again, the main idea behind protein powder is to build and repair muscles faster. And again, here, this would be a video that you'd be watching when you're going through the slideshow. Creatine. What creatine supposedly does, it helps raise metabolism, promotes muscle growth, and promotes quick muscular energy. So it gets you from one place to another place quicker. So that's what creatine would do. So an example would be if I'm playing basketball, I can move 2 feet to my left quicker. If I can move 2 feet to my left quicker, I have a better chance of getting past that person. So that's something that creatine does. Creatine is actually a byproduct of red meat. So it's found in red meat in very, very tiny amounts. This is something that they've been using, we're going on close to 40 years now. There has been no shown bad side effects from taking creatine. Okay, so this is not something that is promoted by the WRA, so I can't tell you to take it. However, if I have 2 sons, at some point I would be okay with them taking creatine because it's has not been shown to actually have any bad side effects from it. Branched chain amino acids. This improves exercise performance, supposedly, helps synthesize protein, so makes protein work better, and helps prevent fatigue. And there's a lot of different mixed reviews on branched chain amino acids. I guess it's one of those things that works for some people and not for others. This is not something I would necessarily promote, though. The next one is fish oil. And fish oil is exactly what it sounds like. So it's the oil from a fish. So if you're eating fish naturally, you would not need to supplement with this thing. However, if you don't have fish on a consistent basis, this may be something that another more proven one to work. And this is something that you can find in gummies, you can find in different places. This is something I give my boys every single morning in a gummy. So what it does, it lowers the risk of heart disease, lowers blood pressure, reduces inflammation. Inflammation, again, is what causes you to actually feel like injuries, so you're not going to be as inflamed. Helps fight depression, improves immune system, So again, right now with all the things going on with the coronavirus, improved immune system is kind of important. Hair growth, acne, and build muscle and burn fat, which is obviously something that the majority of people are looking to do. Next one is chromium picolinate. What this one supposedly does is helps raise metabolism and decrease body fat. This is one of them that is, and like if you see fat burners that are being sold someplace, this is one of the main ingredients in those fat burners, but this is something that's been kind of shown to be a little bit addictive. Pre-workouts. So this is a great video to watch on pre-workouts. So what this supposedly does, it allows you to work harder over a longer period of time. When in actuality, the number one pre-workout you can have is having enough sleep and having enough water. If you have those two things, your workouts are going to be dramatically better than if you don't. Energy drinks. Again, another great video on energy drinks that you're going to be watching. So what you're going to find out throughout this video is energy drinks, for the most part, are extremely addictive and not healthy. So it's not something you should be consistently putting into your body, even though a lot of people do, which is why a lot of people are unhealthy as well, and also makes your immune system be worse, which at this time is a really bad thing to have happen. Flaxseed. What flaxseed supposedly does is help prevent heart disease and cancer and helps promote fat loss. Flaxseed is something that's been around for a pretty long period of time. Oftentimes it's found in like healthier types of breads and things like that. Some people really believe in this. The research is kind of mixed on this one, so I can't necessarily say that it works for sure, but maybe it does for some people. Zinc. Zinc is a very important one supposedly going on with the coronavirus right now. What this does is it helps with your immune system, and supposedly is one of the main things that can help fight off the coronavirus before you would get it to begin with. Echinacea is another one that's been out there for a long time. This one supposedly helps cure colds and boosts immunity. Now, with a lot of things that go along here is there could be an effect that people have that they just take something and they think because they're taking it that they're going to get better. So that's called the placebo effect. So what that means is it might not truly be doing anything, but if your brain, you think you're getting better, you're going to get better. So that's what the placebo effect is. Now, this is something that else, it could work for some people and not for others. Quercetin is something that supposedly helps with prostate cancer. The prostate is something that really only the males have to worry about, eventually having to worry about. Or if you're a female, somebody you love at some point may have to worry about, or somebody you love already might have to worry about this. So the prostate is located just inside the anus. It is one of the main causes of actually death in men in the United States. Folic acid is one that's been a little bit more proven to work. So this one helps prevent birth defects, helps prevent heart disease, and prevent cancer. So this would be something that the majority of females that, when they're knowingly pregnant, that they take as part of their supplement program. The problem is when most birth defects are actually happening is before the woman even realizes that she's pregnant, which is a little bit of a problem. So most times you're not going to do something unless you know that you have something. So if the woman doesn't believe that she's pregnant, she may not be taking this, and by the time the folic acid could have worked, the baby already could be having some physical issues on the inside, which could have been prevented if they were taking folic acid all along. So if a woman was sexually active at any point in their lives, folic acid is probably a very smart thing for them to be taking. St. John's wort has nothing to do with warts. I'm not really sure why it's called wort. What this one supposedly does is helps with your mood and helps with some depression symptoms. Lecithin. This one supposedly helps prevent memory loss and prevents depression. And again, with all of these, they're not all proven to work. They might work for one person and not for another one. Lysine is for cold sores to help help prevent and alleviate the signs of cold sores. So if you ever had a cold sore on your lip or seen someone with a cold sore, this is something that would actually help prevent that or alleviate it. Glucosamine chondroitin, it helps with arthritis. So if you have anybody that has arthritic issues in your family, or you might have some already, which is not a good thing, but you may have it already, and this can help with some of those issues so your arthritis isn't quite as bad. So arthritis would be like when your bones are going against your bone and you have pain in your joints from this issue. This is one of the things that supposedly can help that issue. Black cohosh. This one supposedly helps with menopausal symptoms. This is something that's a little different again, where it's something that guys don't necessarily have to worry about getting themselves because a guy's not going to get menopause. So menopause happens because a woman will not menstruate her entire life. And when she gets somewhere in her, typically in 40s or 50s, she goes through something called menopause. And this is where she would have like hot flashes and have a bunch of other different issues that would happen because of this. And what black cohosh supposedly does is helps with some of these symptoms. Apple cider vinegar is probably one of the more popular ones that's out there right now. It supposedly helps with fat loss, digestion, it's an odd one, teeth whitening, and the big one is immune system. So this is one that's become more and more popular, that a lot of people are claiming it works perfectly for them. But again, I think it's one of those things where it works very well for some people and not well for others. If you ever actually tried to drink apple cider vinegar, it is absolutely disgusting. So there's other ways to actually get this. Again, you can find it different ways, like you could get it in a gummy as well, like I said with some of the other things we've gone over, where you could like eat it in a gummy. Steroids. What steroids are is imitation testosterone, which is going to be shown in that video. You got a little Arnold Schwarzenegger right here, little Barry Bonds. So what Barry Bonds is he actually holds the record for most home runs in a season and most home runs in a career. He is someone that actually was one of the better players in baseball's history. And then all of a sudden, when he got a little bit later on in age, like about 37 to about 40, he somehow got dramatically better. It became the best player in the history of baseball for a short period of time. And most people don't start getting better at that time. They actually start getting worse. So the claim is that he was taking steroids. So what are anabolic steroids? Are synthetic derivatives of testosterone. Testosterone is important for muscle development, facial hair growth, and also causes deepening of the voice. So masculine characteristics. So men typically have more testosterone than estrogen. Women typically have more estrogen than testosterone. Allows better retention of nitrogen, which allows for more protein to enter the muscles. So the more protein you can actually have enter the muscles, the stronger they're going to get, and the quicker they are to actually recover. So reports show that steroid users who lift weights can gain more strength and body weight at a more rapid pace than lifting alone. In 2 months, a typical steroid user can gain 30 pounds or greater in lean muscle mass and drastically reduce their body fat. Now, if someone does not work out and just takes steroids, they're not going to get muscular. They have to still work extremely hard in order for that to happen, which is kind of one of the misnomers of steroids. Okay, the average male produces 2.5 milligrams of testosterone daily. The average steroid user takes in 100 milligrams. So that's an awful big difference. And one of the things your body will naturally start doing is if you put imitation things into the body, it will stop making its own testosterone. So when you start taking steroids and you take them for a certain period of time, your body will stop naturally making testosterone. And if your body doesn't need to make testosterone anymore, testosterone in males is actually in the testes. So that's why a male's testes would actually shrink, is because one of the things they're used for, it's not using it anymore because it's not actually producing testosterone anymore. Possible negative effects of anabolic steroids. We have acne and skin has an oily appearance, depression, aggressive behavior, violent mood swings, paranoia, something known as roid rage, where you just can't control your emotions, liver damage, which is a very common one, heart disease, very common one, strokes, and muscle dysmorphia, which is kind of the opposite of an eating disorder. It's where you look in the mirror and don't actually see someone that's absolutely jacked and huge. You actually see someone that's not. Negative effects of anabolic steroids. In adolescence could be permanent short stature. So if you start taking steroids before you're fully grown, you might stop actually growing taller. In women, it could be premature balding, decrease in breast size, menstrual irregularities, deepening of the voice, excess facial hair, and clitoral enlargement. So these are all things, basically, it's kind of giving a woman masculine characteristics. In males, could be impotence, decreased sperm counts, testicular atrophy, which we've gone over already, decreased production of natural testosterone, which we've gone over, excess testosterone, which turns into estrogen, which can be gynecomastia, which means your chest actually starts getting like fat deposits on it. And most of these effects can actually be irreversible. So this is something you might think, oh, I'm going to do this while I'm younger, and then I'm not going to see the effects later on, when that's not necessarily true. How do steroids work? Testosterone helps produce muscles. Molecules of testosterone fit into the receptor sites located inside cells, and when the site is filled, it starts muscle growth. The more sites that get filled, the bigger the muscles are going to get. So basically, it is filling up those muscles at an extremely, extremely fast rate. Now, one of the problems is the muscles are growing, but the tendons and ligaments are not growing at that same rate, especially the tendons. So it's very common for somebody that takes testosterone to have a tendon rupture because the tendons can't keep up with the amount of muscle that's growing at a certain period of time, and it puts too much stress, and a lot of times they'll just rip right off the bone. When physical stress is put on the body, it breaks down. Protein is what helps the body build and repair itself, as if you just had protein in any other way. Steroids help with the maximum protein synthesis, so it helps you recover at an extremely, extremely fast rate and build muscle at an extremely, extremely fast rate. So somebody might be taking steroids that's not necessarily like huge, but they're taking it to recover faster. So this could be something like a pitcher in baseball who's a little bit older who can't recover as fast. They're going to recover a lot faster. Or if you have some type of injury, you're going to recover from that injury a lot faster. Again, why athletes use steroids? To increase their strength and speed. Steroids allow them to recover faster from injuries and workouts, and this allows them to work out harder and longer, which again produces a bigger, faster, stronger athlete. They're divided into three categories. You have aerobic capacity and endurance, body composition, and strength performance. Aerobic capacity, it allows more oxygen into the muscles. The more oxygen that's in the muscles, the longer you can do something without your muscles getting tired. So this would be something like extreme long distance running. So an extreme long distance runner, your muscles a lot of times get tired. And your muscles will not get as tired because there's more oxygen flowing to them. Body composition means you're going to have more muscle mass and less fat. And then strength performance would be increased muscle mass, which is obviously, if you're looking for performance, that's the reason why somebody would take it. Penalties for using steroids. Penalties vary from sport to sport. Olympics have an automatic 2-year suspension. Baseball has been under a lot of scrutiny by Congress and media. And again, these things keep changing. Year by year, they keep changing from one to the next thing. So some years it's the suspensions get longer, and sometimes they aren't as long as they were before. So every year they kind of change based on the way the players actually get their contracts. As of this time, MLB first game was 80-game suspension. The second would be a full season. The third is a lifetime ban. In the NFL, it was 4 games. The second one is 6 games, and the third would be a year. How to solve this problem? Athletes will stretch the rules when the rewards outweigh the risk. So what that would mean is if you're capable in a sport like baseball to hit more home runs, the amount of money you're going to make may outweigh the risk of getting caught. So that's a big reason why people would actually do it. Now, an example is this guy right here is Barry Bonds. These two guys right up here are Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa, who got an extreme amount of attention when they were in the race to have the single-season home run record, which Roger Maris had held for 50 years, which was 61. And they both ended up beating it and got so much attention. Now, this guy over here was Barry Bonds. Overall, he was a better player. Like, he hit for better average. He was faster. He did hit a lot of home runs, just not as much as Mark McGwire and Sammy Sosa. So supposedly he got jealous of what was going on, and then he took them, and he became likely the best player in the history of baseball for that period of time. How to solve the problem? Again, educate the athlete about the negative side effects and possible dangers of steroids. Could be a universal lifetime ban for someone testing positive for anabolic steroids or performance-enhancing illegal substance, so people would be less likely to take them. And then what athlete would want to jeopardize their livelihood if they fail one test that they're done? Okay, high school sports need to have random drug testing. Now here's the problem with that is every time you give a test, it costs money. So the reason why that's not happening on a consistent basis in high school is because of budget concerns. I mean, they're cutting budgets and everything all the time. To ask to spend more money on something is very unlikely to happen. Okay, but if you do have a positive test, it requires the high school to follow the athletic code, plus the athlete needs to receive counseling from a professional. And that would be your slideshow here. So at this point, we would be having a test on all the stuff that we've gone over since the last time. And we'll go over that a little bit later. Take care. Hopefully you enjoyed the slides.